Correct me.
Uh, what I said was, like, maybe that's the case, but that's not what I said. What I said was, what takes place in this temple gets copied all over the world.
Yeah.
In temples.
That's pretty much the point. And you see, the problem of people outside that they do not have an access to this knowledge, and somehow, just because of the age of Kali, they're quarreling with each other, they're arguing, but in fact, they're not conscious of that. They're just suffering like anything, but they can't do anything with that. At the same time, we are quite proud that we are Vaishnavas, that we have an access to the perfect knowledge. Yet, even being aware of all the symptoms of Kali Yuga, we still pretty much do the same thing that Kali and Maya wants us to do. So I thought there are several symptoms that I can stress out today, and maybe at the end of the day discuss how we can all together solve them. And the first symptom, which I pretty much already highlighted, was the lack of unity, which is unfortunately the lack of unity outside, which is unfortunately the symptom of our ashram as well. And well, there are some things. Say, how much time do we spend together?
4 hours in the morning.
4 hours in the morning.
2 hours each, most evenings. 6
And
hours.
5-6 hours during the
Okay,
night.
because literally, or I would say on the paper, you're absolutely right. But what we see, the only reason why we're together in the morning, because actually it is compulsory. If we're not there, we'll be kicked out of the temple. And at the same time, despite seemingly we're all together, there is lack of communication, relationship between each of us. We are dancing more or less each of us in his own thoughts. We're chanting more or less each of us in his own thoughts. And whatever problem comes and listening to the class, we're still each of us on his own. And in fact, these 4 hours, despite they are seemingly all together, there is still lack of opportunity to communicate, to listen to each other, to know what's really happening. And this is one of the reasons why that kind of thing would not happen, at least with us, more or less soon, because we are not yet united. We seemingly have this basis of love and devotion. We sincerely trying to dedicate ourselves to Krishna, but each of us does it more or less in his own individual way. While these people show what, did you see what was there? What was happening when only one person was dancing in front of the stage? What was happening then 2 people joined? When 100 people joined? When 1,000 people joined? Somehow they managed to organize it. The only way they could have done it is by working with their own false ego, trying to cultivate this mood which is so popular among all of us. We're trying to be humble, but all of them managed to be very humble and very much into what the community wants to do, and they managed to present it such a gift to their demigods, which we would like one day to present to Krishna hopefully as well, and do such a kirtan. And I thought, in fact, there are some particular things, say even breakfast is indeed the first time when we can just sit down and communicate together. And you see, amazing things happen. Since I was asked to supervise the breakfast, I was always quite anxious about things. Somehow, there was a moment when we named the top book distributors, those who did well, and I was looking around and I didn't see even 5. There were 7, 8 people on the list, but I saw only 1 or 2 which were there, and mainly among Matajis. And I was asking myself, what for? Why do we actually know this course? Isn't it a moment when we should really support each other, say kind of nice words to each other, and do something to feel that somebody actually needs it, rather than you just do it on your own, do the score, record it, and then again go on the street. Another day I thought, where are all the brahmacharis? And both Matajis were carrying up skips with prasadam, and I thought again, all the brahmacharis gone, each of them had prasadam their own, and again we missed this opportunity to talk with each other. And I might be quite biased because eventually each of us has such a genuine excuse. We're going to go on the street. This is a prime benediction for the modern age. We need to distribute books. We need to distribute philosophy. But it's very good as long as you do it as a part of the community. And as we're missing the whole basis, whatever thing would come up, there is no such a solid basis that it can build up on. What I'm trying to say that some of you might say, I just want to go on books earlier, just one hour earlier. But I would agree with this statement if you add it to the number of hours you're supposed to do there. We usually go 1 hour earlier in order to come back 1 hour earlier, isn't it? We usually come back 1 hour early in order to have 1 hour more in the evening for our personal needs. And at the end of the day, what we're missing is perhaps the only time within a day when we can sit all together, just having prasad and chatting about many things. And the second symptom that happened with us on Monday, it was so remarkable, so touching, and that's something that actually made me try to speak about these topics today, which is a little bit difficult. Can I please ask you to? For the first hour, just because of the pursuit of time, the atmosphere was so rajasic, so difficult. Each of us has his own points. Each of us was willing to say something, to share something. And again, we never had time. We never had time to listen. The chairman had to cut half away. The person who was speaking was very angry because he didn't have a chance to speak fully. And at the end of the day, I understood each of us has his own things, but somehow we don't have time to talk about that. And then, just at the end of this class, Sachikishore Prabhu started to talk about unity. And for the moment, it was silence in the room, and I looked at the eyes of the people. I thought, okay, that's for the first time I see that there is something everybody's thinking about. Krishna Prabhu said about Alcoholics Anonymous, and I understood, wow, there is something deep in each of us that we would like to share, but we cannot. So, just coming back to this video, I should be honest with you. The only reason why I decided to stay in the temple, and the only reason why I decided to talk about this, because I wish I could stay with you longer and as long as possible. But at the same time, for me, it's like a family. It's an opportunity to live with you, with 16 of us, and all of you. Some of us like brothers, some of us like father, son. All kind of relationships are there. But ideally, there should be relationships, and ideally, we should be or can be a family. But Prabhupada said that I'm afraid that my devotees don't have a healthy enough fear of Maya. And I thought, wow, this Soka temple is really amazing. I saw so many devotees from different countries on the Brahmachari convention, but nobody had such an intense life. And I was so much inspired by all of you. I saw how much effort, how much endeavor, how much sincere devotion and love you tried to put in your service. And that's the only reason why I decided to stay. I thought, wow, I would like to associate with these people. They're really so nice, they're really so strong. They somehow managed to learn how to control their senses. And then again and again, I was sometimes going out of the temple and seeing London there. And the more I live in the temple, the more I understand it is the heart of Maya's ego. It is just the heart of the hell. And what Bhaktivinoda Samrita said, it's amazing that all of us are here. It's just amazing. Because we are, it's like Arjuna and Krishna. We are right in the middle, right in the very pin of this Vaishnava movement, trying to struggle in the heart of Maya. And that's amazing. But none of us is Krishna, none of us is Arjuna. We don't have this superhuman opportunity to defeat or conquer 10,000 people at once. None of us can go on the street and do 10,000 books within one day. Rather than, as a community, as a family, as a strong ashram, we can try and do something like what these people did. They managed to encourage, they managed to inspire thousands and tens of thousands of people to do this action of love, this action of devotion. So ideally what we might do in order to be, in order trying to serve properly, being a community and thinking of ideas and formulas, how we can engage other congregational members in book distribution, because we have hundreds, and if each of them 100